For over 2 centuries, the White House has stood as a symbol of continuity until now. Under President Donald Trump's direct orders, the East Wing home to the First Lady's office and the historic colonnade is being reduced to rubble. The reason is because of a ballroom. A 90,000 square foot, gold-trimmed ballroom that Trump says will leave the White House better than he found it.
Certain areas are being left. We determined that after really a tremendous amount of study with some of the best architects in the world, we determined that really knocking it down, trying to use a little section. You know, the East Wing was not much. There was not much left from the original. It was, over the course of 100 years, it was changed, the columns were removed, and it was a much different building. Then a story was added on in 1948, 1949. There was a story added on, which was not particularly nice. And the building was very, very much changed from what it was originally. It was never thought of as being much. It was a very small building. And rather than allowing that to hurt a very expensive, beautiful building that, frankly, they've been after for years. You have that. I brought these along so people could see, but very great patriots, actually. And the spirit on the building of it is amazing. We are using little sections of footings and various other things, but that's sort of irrelevant.
Demolition began Monday. By midweek, excavators had chewed through most of the East Wing walls, collapsing where visitors once entered for public tours. Trump confirmed it himself. The entire East Wing must go in order to do it properly. He brushed aside concerns of transparency, saying he's been more open than anyone ever. Officials now admit that what was first described as a small modernization has become a full teardown. 2 senior aides told reporters the White House found it cheaper and structurally sounder to demolish than to add on. Critics say it is reckless, a personal passion project bulldozing through decades of preservation norms. When first announced in July, the plan was modest. A new ballroom, separate from the main residence, costed at $200 million. Now, the project's scope and price tag have exploded, $300 million and counting. Trump has hand-picked the design himself, favoring the bigger model after showing scale prototypes to guests. The ballroom will hold nearly 1,000 people, almost twice the size of the main White House itself. Renderings show Louis XIV-style interiors, bulletproof glass, chandeliers, and gold filigree echoes of Mar-a-Lago transplanted to Pennsylvania Avenue. Trump insists taxpayers won't spend a dime. Instead, the money flows through the Trust for the National Mall, a nonprofit partner of the National Park Service. This week, the White House released its donor list. Tech titans like Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and Coinbase. Defense giants like Lockheed Martin and Palantir, and billionaire allies, the Adelsons and the Winklevoss twins. Alphabet's $22 million contribution came from a legal settlement with Trump himself. Trump says the rest comes from me and some friends, though no public breakdown of contributions has been released. Normally, major federal construction in Washington faces layers of approvals from the National Capital Planning Commission and the Commission of Fine Arts, but the White House, like Congress and the Supreme Court, is exempt. That loophole has allowed Trump to move at full speed, submitting plans for review only after demolition began. Former NCPC Chair Preston Bryant called that unprecedented. Even so, Trump appointed his own allies to the commission controlling the review that's supposed to oversee him. The NCPC itself remains shut down during the government shutdown, another delay that plays in Trump's favor. The East Wing, built in 1902, expanded by Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1942, it housed the First Lady's office, the White House Social Office, and the underground Presidential Emergency Operations Center. the bunker used during crises from 9/11 to 2020 protests. Historians say the teardown wipes away irreplaceable history. Preservationists call it the first major exterior change since 1942. Trump dismissed the building as a very small structure, never thought of as much. Artifacts from Rosalind Carter's office have been boxed and stored under the National Park Service's supervision. But the bunker's fate, and what happens to the space beneath it, remains classified. The ballroom is just one part of a broader Trump-era redesign. He has paved the Rose Garden with stone, gilded the Oval Office, covered the Cabinet Room in gold leaf, and lined the West Colonnade with a presidential walk of fame. The president seems determined to cement his presence in the most iconic address.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.